to bring up here a young entrepreneur named Sacha Graham. She's going to tell you all about herself and some of the enterprising works that she's been doing as a young entrepreneur. Appreciate Sacha if she comes, please, everybody.
Hello everyone. Quick question. Wait. Who is under 18 here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put your hand up. 13, 14, 15. 15 of you. What I want you to quickly do before I start an introduction on myself and about what I do, I want you to quickly just shout out when I point to you 2 things that you are really interested in. It could be anything, or an invention that you have thought of, like absolutely anything. So 2 things. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to think of it, starting now. So it could be your own trainers, it could be a car that flies. Can you imagine a car that flies? It could be a hoverboard trainers. Could you imagine that? You just put on your trainers and you just glide the street. Anything. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Right. I'm going to start with the youngest first. Now the reason why I'm going to start with the youngest first is because when you are, I would say, under 10, the imagination goes wild. Whatever they think, they believe they can do. So I'm going to start with the youngest, which I'm thinking is maybe on this table. How old are you? 6. Is there anyone under 6? You're under 6? I'm going to come with you. Ask him what he likes.
Well, he speaks Spanish.
Wow.
Spanish.
That's fantastic, actually. Can you imagine?
He recognises words we've been doing my next birth. So he can recognise a lot of words. He can sound out the letters, not all of them, some of the letters to his name.
And he's very confident. As soon as I'm speaking or anything, he's like, hey! What? Can you tell me 2 things that you would like to invent, or 2 ideas that you have, young lady? There are 2 things that you like. Is there anything that isn't out there what you would like to make? No? Alright. You, mister?
A mobile app that you can go on, and all the stuff that you have on a phone is on that app, and hovering shoes.
And hovering shoes. You like that idea? Alright, brilliant, mister. So to invent something to make you run faster. Brilliant idea. 10 years old? 11? Go on, mister.
Football and cars.
Football and cars.
I want to make a car so it'll be cheaper. Like to buy.
Make a car from scratch?
Yeah.
Brilliant idea.
Yeah.
12? If you could create anything. Music. Do you go studio a lot? Yes? So have you played with the production side and stuff like that already? No? Okay, because there's a lot of free places where you can go and use studio. Alright, well, try, what I would say, I know this is completely different, but what I would say is try to go as much as you can to those studios, because practice makes perfect. So the more that you get used to playing around with those things, the more people will be coming to you to make music, so you can do what you love. 14 years old? 15? 15? Go on, mister.
I like running.
Running.
And food.
Nice.
Food.
Yeah.
Everyone has to eat, that's a brilliant... Go on, and what would you like to invent if you could invent something?
Real clothes.
Real clothes?
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's brilliant. So like, you could have your own clothing line. Brilliant idea. 16 years old? 17? How old are you? Yeah. Didn't I say 14? Go on then, tell me stuff you like.
I like football.
Football?
Yeah.
And if you could invent something, what would you invent?
I'm not sure.
Anything at all. The world is your oyster. Anything. Or what would you like to? Yeah. What would you like to invent?
I like to like, make a football team. Like own a football team basically.
Brilliant. Fantastic. And you, Mr. How old are you? 13. You lot are just skiving when I'm saying the ages you're missing. All right, go on. What would you like to invent? If you could invent anything.
I don't know.
Okay, tell me 2 things you like.
Football
Yeah.
and basketball.
And basketball. Fantastic. And you next to him?
What do I like?
What do you like here?
Sports.
Sports. And if you could invent anything, you could create anything you want, what would you create?
A robot.
Oh,
A robot.
to do what?
Anything.
To do anything you want. Like iRobot. You want him to make you cheeseburger, he can make it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Fair enough. Brilliant idea. And I don't know what age, how old are you? 18? 17? What would you invent?
I don't know, you know, there's a lot of stuff out there. So.
But anything. There's so many clothes makers, but if you had a brilliant idea, there's still opportunity for you to be a millionaire in making clothes. So what, even if it's out there.
Like open a studio more local, anything.
Yeah?
And like put stuff at that studio that's not at the usual studio. Anything, that's it.
Like music studio or visual?
Music studio.
Music, okay, brilliant. And what do you like?
Well, 2 things I like, money and going abroad.
Money and going abroad?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Is there anyone under 18 who I missed? Yep, go on. Yeah.
And then like you can see it in 3D.
Fantastic. What? So say that again. You draw it, and when you draw it, you put something on your eye and you see it in 3D.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Brilliant idea. And what do you like?
Football and running.
Football and running. You young lady?
Two things I like
Yeah.
is sport and cooking.
Sports and
Cooking.
cooking. Fantastic. And if you could invent anything, what would you invent?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? Okay. Well, have a think. Now, the reason why I did that, sorry, adults, I just wanted to ask the young people.
So did we hear from this? Did we hear from these 2 young men on here?
No.
Oh, sorry. Two things that you like.
I'd say media and music.
Media and music. If you could invent anything, what would you invent?
It'd be like surfing but like underwater. So it's like you got the surfboard but it's strapped underneath, like it's strapped to your feet and then it's got like 2 power jets.
So you could look at the fishes and everything meanwhile surfing underwater.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And the gentleman behind you, 2 things that you like.
Cycling and tires.
Fantastic. And if you could invent anything, any idea at all? What would you like to, is there nothing that you would really like to have your hands on that ain't out there yet? No? Alright, fair enough. Have a think about it though. Right, can the adults give the youngers a round of applause for their ideas? Now, the reason why I asked before I spoke about myself is because I wanted to make it known how easy it is to have an idea that hasn't been out there yet, that can easily be created. Now the reason why I wanted you guys to think about it as well is because That's all it takes. All it takes is a thought. All it takes is you to think of something, what could be out there already or isn't out there already, and then just pursue it on like, how can I make this happen? Now, just like so what's your name? Rihola. What she showed us about the people who invented things, one which was, I think, Sierra Leone, which was a child who had lollipop sticks. They wanted a car toy and they invented it. And the thing is that when you decide, like you want a hoverboard that goes underwater, when you pursue that idea, and the thing about this generation is that you have every single thing at the tip of your hand, the internet. If you wanted to see what plastic could go or metal could go underwater, Google. Like, you can literally Google anything. And then you invest as well your money in it. So if you have an idea and you know that the first product will maybe cost around £200 for all the things that you've researched, you work hard and you ask your parent, can you invest in me to make a prototype? Now, a prototype is literally just when you're making your first invention, you're making one copy of your idea. And once you've made that prototype, there's people, once it's made and it works, and you've had successful trials, there's people who will pay you millions, some even billions, for your idea and your prototype because it works. So if you, mister, invented the hoverboard that went underwater and it actually worked, that would be a £1 million product that you would pitch to people like you see on, what is that
Dragon's
thing?
Den.
Dragon's Den. You would pitch and they would pay you to invent that, and they will do a mass production of it because it's a good idea. Do you understand? Just on a good idea. And it's like the one about the shoes that this gentleman said as well. Shoes that you put on, and not the one where you've got the little roller blade at the little ball at the back where you kind of slide for 2 seconds and then you stop. But a hoverboard kind of thing. We've seen it years before. In Back to Future, I'm not sure if you guys remember that, but there was a hoverboard where you put on your trainers and you just kind of glide. It was like 5 inches off of the ground, but you could glide. Imagine if we could actually invent that. If this gentleman was able to invent it with just one prototype, with one investment from his mum or his family, which cost maybe £500 to actually make the prototype for, he could have a £1 million prototype. Now, that is just an idea. Has everyone got? I'm just seeing hard face, like everyone's just, no smiles. I understand, you don't really look at someone and just smile. So I understand, but that's all it takes. Yeah, that is all it takes, an idea. Now, to introduce myself, my name is Sacha Graham. I have 2 online businesses. My first online business I've had for 2 years, which is in property. Now, I worked in property for about 4 or 5 years before I started my own business. And I worked 9 till 7, Monday to Saturday, for 4 to 5 years. I was tired of it. I would make my company, so if I sold or rented a house, let's say I rented a house, 10 in a month, which is an average. If I rented 10, I would make the company on average around £15,000 a month. And I would get a commission of that. So if I made 15,000, I would get 10% of it. Yeah? So I would rent out this property. It would be £15,000 a month for my manager. And then he would give me 10% of that. So on average between 10 and 15,000, I would get £1,500 for my work. I did all the work, but that's how much I was getting. And I was like, what? I want to do that for myself. So what I wanted to do is start my own estate agency. Now, to start your own estate agency, it costs a lot of money. So I started an umbrella side of it. And an umbrella is something to do with property. So I started my own inventory company. Inventory is what it is. The word is you go into a property, you document what you see in a property, you make a documentation of it, and it takes me about an hour. I make a document and they pay me between £80 and £150 for an hour to make that document. The reason why I'm telling you this is because someone used to walk into my office who was an inventory clerk, and they used to have a nice car, they dressed really nice, they came in, they collect keys from me, I gave it to them, they walked out, they came back in an hour, I gave them a check for £150 and the keys, and they went about their business. And I wanted to know, what is it that they do? So I researched it. And after I researched it, I got the qualifications for it. It was 2 assignments that I had to do, and I could do it in a day, I could study for a month and do it, I could do it. You can take as long as you want to learn this 20-page document and fill it out. So I learnt it, and I got the qualifications. Then I started my own business. How I did it was online. So I started a website, which you can start a website for £5 for the year, or you can start a website looking as much as £500 for the year. As long as you research how you use it, you can make the £500 look like the £5 one if you don't know what you're doing, and you can make the £5 one look like the £500 one. Now, every single person in here, if we wanted to do a little mock of it, is we could start, every single one of you, having a website right now. You fill out the information, you do the www. whatever you want to call it, and you've got a website. It costs about £5 for the name, between £5 and £10 for the name, so you copyright your name, and for the website. Now that's £10 on average, £20 at a max. You've got your name, so let's say it was called shoehover.com. As long as there's not a name, you could copyright the name, shoehover.com. And then you can have a website. You can put pictures, let's say you've created your prototype, pictures of it, and you sell it. Now, to market it is a bit of the problem. Like, if you don't go full force in marketing, you can have a product that everyone wants, but no one knows about. So how would you market a product? Let me ask some of you. How would you market a product that you have online?
Advertise.
Advertise. How would you advertise?
Online.
Anywhere. Posters. How would you advertise?
By adverts beginning with a video.
Doing a video. So online you will post a video on YouTube. How would you advertise?
Social media.
Social media. So that's Facebook, Insta, Twitter. There's so many now. Snapchat, this chat. How would you do it?
I'll do interview and then I'll put advert on TV.
Put up an advert on TV. Go on with it. And how would you do it, young lady?
Tell them.
Tell them. That's the best. That's brilliant. Tell them. Right. Now, I've got just a few. They're questions, but they're not questions that I've written it in question form, but I have the answer for it because it's very hard to know the answer. How many people live in the UK? Let's say you wanted to do a UK business. How many, does anyone know by any chance? I didn't know.
1.6 billion.
How many did you say?
70 million.
All right. You got to check. There's 64.7. What? 64.7 million people who live in the UK. How many people were recording on average to use the internet in the UK?
3/4.
No. Any guess? 47 million people use the internet in the UK. It's been recorded. It's the average. That is, on average, 87% of the people in the UK, so you can capture 87% of the UK on the internet. Now, I know it's kind of, you can't really get everyone on the internet, but how many would you say, Mr. is on Facebook? The one who said, how many, let's say a percentage is on Facebook? So if you could say 10%, 50%, 80%. In the UK, how many would you say is on Facebook?
How many people is on Facebook?
20%. How many would you say is on Facebook?
80%.
80. How many would you say is on Facebook? 80%. Now, the average amount of people who's on Facebook is 98%. How many in here don't have Facebook? Now, how many of you have an account on Facebook but have deactivated it? Okay. So, how many has never been on Facebook at all? Has never clicked facebook.com? Never. Who's never clicked facebook.com? 1, you've never clicked facebook.com. 2, you. Really? Really? How old are you? Are you on social media though? But you've never been on Facebook? That's quite unique. Underage, I know certain parents are like, no, you won't be on Facebook, so I understand that. But my point is that you can get 97% of people who live in the UK on Facebook. You're probably the 3% who's not on there. So if you sign up, it'll be 100%. But the reason why I've said that is because I started my business and I went on Facebook, Instagram, and I went on, because I was in property, I went on, have you heard of findaproperty.com?
Yeah.
And Gumtree?
Yeah.
And Zoopla. So I went on those things because I was looking for people interested in property. So I went on those things and I must have emailed and bothered about, I would say, 1,000 people. And from that, I got 3 responses. And I got 3 companies, estate agency who use me, who use my property services. From that, I started doing more. So over the course of the year, I must have tried to email about 5,000 companies. And from that, I would say from the end of that year, coming into the second year of my business, I moved on from 3 companies to about 6. And now I have about 18 estate agencies who use my company. Now, if you was to say one company rent about 10 on average, between 10 and 15 properties. So on average, about 5 would rent about 50 and they would give me my business. So all of them are excited about their 10 properties. I have 5 of those companies, so I get each one of their business. And from that, that's how my business survives. And it all started from the internet. So my advice is literally, think of an idea. If you have a thought, then see how you can make that thought possible. And it's with anything. And even if it's something what doesn't mean you create it, it could be something that you're interested in. It's just like the gentleman over there who said he's interested in studio. If he Googles and searches for people who are looking for an intern in a studio, guaranteed, if he wants to pursue it 100%, he will find someone on the internet who will give him and teach him those skills to learn. So my ending is literally just to say, think it, dream it, think it, and make it happen, however you can, because it is possible. My second venture, quickly, just to end, that I thought of this year, December, I thought I want to do a clothes company. So this year I've been doing sketches and I've been designing things, and I wanted to do a company for Christians. I'm a Christian, and I wanted to do cool things which Christians can wear and it looks funny, or something like Tweety leaning on something what says I'm just blessed. And I thought of loads of different ideas, and from that I've sketched them, I've designed them, and I've searched all over the world. So I found designers who wanted £150 for them to do a logo for me, and I found something called Fiverr.com where them same designers are on there trying to get business as well, and it cost me £5 to get the design. If you search, you will find it. You will find what you want. So I've got designers who have created me some great logos that I'm going to put on t-shirts. And where is my marketing? Churches. Where else? Church anything. Anything to do with churches or conferences, I'm going to have leaflets. I'm going to have it online, Facebook. If it's a church, I'm going to be hitting up my jumpers with my www of where I am, and I'm going to be hitting it up. I may do 1,000 and free reply, but if I get 3 churches who reply, most churches have around X amount of people in the churches. So again, what I'm going to end with is dream it, think it, and then make it happen. How you make it happen is you pursue it. Just like if you like football, you pursue it on a weekly basis, on an hourly basis, you do the same with your passion. Thank you very much.